Alrighty, kids, what's up? Blackie Black Metal, aka Count Negroth Storm Thrasher, as bestowed upon me by none other than Lord Asmodeus. I swear, it totally happened. I'm not making that up at all. Alright, so a few days ago, it was Bruce Dickinson's birthday. I did a video about it, but it was too long, and I uploaded it, and I thought it was on YouTube, and then I go and check on it and find out it was too long, and so it got yanked. Sucks. So I didn't get to do it on Bruce Dickinson's birthday, which sucks. But either way, I'm gonna go ahead and redo it anyway. Who doesn't love Maiden? Point blank period. You're not a metalhead if you don't like Maiden. Maiden in itself is almost like the personification of metal. Point blank period. Like, it's just straight up metal. Like, everything about it, the logos, the cover, the album covers. I remember seeing the Maiden album covers when I was a kid, and it was just like the craziest thing. Like Eddie and the death and the horrible stuff on it was just stuff that my mother hated, so I was immediately drawn to it. But anyway, Maiden more or less is like, well, if you think about it, Bruce Dickinson is one of the best metal vocalists ever, point blank. If you who else could you really compare him to? I'd say Dio, basically, because that's the kind of thing I'm talking about. Like, they have this transcendent like voice that more or less, it defines the sound of whatever band they're with. There was a guy before Dickinson who was okay. He was a good singer, but he didn't have that thing, you know what I mean? Like, for instance, to get off a non-metal subject, let's say Steve Perry, for instance. Steve Perry was not the original singer for Journey. It was the dude who was like on piano or something. I forget his name. But either way, they were still a good band then. But Steve Perry had this thing where he was singing backup for this guy, but then his parts became so powerful and like what stuck out to fans the most that he eventually became the lead of Journey. Like, I mean, unquestionable. It was just like the songs got better. Everything got better once Steve Perry, basically headed up the band. And that's kind of what happened with Maiden too, is that Bruce Dickinson heads up the band after Joey, what's his name? I forget it, DeMarco or something. But anyway, they become something else. Like, if you just look at I can't even think of anything pre-Dickinson, to be honest with you. I listened to I saw the Best of the Beast DVD sets in college. I used to wear them out, and so I saw those first couple songs where the other guy was with him, but they weren't really memorable Maiden songs. But either way, all the members of Maiden, Dave Murray, and I used to know all my Maiden band members. I'm sorry, I'm a little rusty. But anyway, absolutely phenomenal metal band altogether. Like, undeniably, you can't begin to listen to metal and understand it without like feeling Maiden, point blank, because it's the core. It's the core for a lot of heavier things that came later on. I would say the next thing up would be Dio. Anything Dio would have done, like, that's one of the most soulful metal singers ever. I don't even think of Black Sabbath with Dio as Black Sabbath. I think of it as just Dio. Those things like Dio songs to me. Heaven and Hell is a Dio song basically to me. But anyway, what else was I gonna say? Danzig, even another great metal singer. Just really, I mean, he started off with Misfits punk, but he turned, basically straight up. Well, he's metal, but like, if you think about it, there aren't really very heavy Danzig songs. Five Finger Crawl is probably the most heavy Danzig song I've ever heard. But either way, I absolutely love Danzig. One of the greatest voices of metal, period. Just a great singer, like, to a point of where you can't give him something that's too instrument heavy. He's got to be able to sing for you to really, feel him. I absolutely love Danzig as a singer, and it's in the same class most definitely with Dickinson and Dio. I would say, of having a distinct and clear, voice, just clean, really good sounding voice. It's not an easy thing to do. A lot of metal guys get away with it because they can do other things better, but these are, are hands down masters at this point. They've been around forever. Like, at this point, I would say Danzig, it'd be fair to call him forever at this point. But anyway, who else was I going to talk about on Dickinson? Oh hell, what's another good point about Maiden? Can't even really think of anything, but if anything, start with covers. I started with covers of Maiden songs before I really got deep into serious Maiden. I'd say what Hallowed Be Thy Name is a great song. You know what? What am I saying? Start with covers. Start with the original. I listened to a cover of Hallowed Be Thy Name and wanted to hear the original after that. And basically, I listened to the original most of the time. That was like one of my theme songs one week. You know, like I'm walking to class to what was it I was on hard as hell one week. Not Hallowed Be Thy Name really. Aces High. I was straight up every morning. I get up out of my room straight up Aces High. I'm going to class. I was a killer, man. It's just something about Maiden's music. It's just really powerful. Like every song is like a Rocky theme. You know what I mean? Absolutely awesome music. But anyway, I want to get this video posted, so I'll go ahead on and kill her at this, and I'll say happy birthday, Bruce Dickinson. Absolute metal idol, metal icon. I can't wait for Halford's birthday so I can talk a little Priest, because I feel like those are two bands that are side by side. Priest being the predecessor, but still I really feel like they're out of the same vein. But happy birthday, Dickinson. Fucking awesome. One of the best metal singers ever to fucking live. God bless you. And you youngins out there who are listening to all this radio shit and all these Linkin Parks, and they're talented. I'm sorry, I'm gonna talk like shit. Sorry, don't say anything mean. They're talented, but they're not metal. But some kids are really misguided and they think that that's kind of in the same vein as it's not. Get some old school Maiden. Just get you a greatest hits. Fuck it. You're too young to go too far back. The Number of Beasts and all that stuff. So just get you a greatest hits.